We are less than 7 hours away now from that stay-at-home order taking effect. And here at KCTV5, we continue to get tons of questions about who exactly is impacted.
Everybody has a lot of questions. Right now, we are joined by Kansas City Mayor Quinton Lucas. Mayor Lucas, thanks for joining us. I know that you've been answering a lot of questions. What are you hearing about the most asked questions that the mayor is getting?
You know, I think there are a lot of questions that are generally about, is my line of work in or out, be it construction, be it landscaping. There are a lot of different ones. I think the ballpark advice that I've typically used is this. If you have to ask whether you're essential or not, the answer is usually that it is not an essential position. And there's another thing that's important with that. Essential doesn't mean valuable. Everybody's job is valuable. We know it has a big impact on their livelihoods in our community. But our essential business designation really looks to those that are helping save lives, that work in medical care and health care, or help keep our city running each day, like the police officers that were profiled in the last story. And so we're trying to get everyone else to say, how can you figure out to not work from the office? How can you figure out to not work from the store? There are lots of businesses in Kansas City, and I want to commend in particular our smaller businesses who have done an outstanding job complying with this order and past ones, and will help us all get through it.
Yeah, we all need to do that. Mayor Lucas, we heard from the police today, and they said that, honestly, though, they're really not going to be enforcing this. So what do you say to that? I know that they were saying this is kind of, we got to self-police ourselves. If you see something that's not right, report it. What do you say to the enforcement of this order?
Well, we absolutely never plan to be Big Brother or come up with any challenges like that. The police chief in that press conference also said, call 311, not 911, and I think he's correct on that. If you're somebody who knows about a business that's violating this order, the real idea is to tell some of those businesses that were operating, heck, today, massage parlors, all types of other places where you can see the spread of coronavirus, that you should not be operating now. That's not a judgment call on the quality of the business or anything of the sort. It's really us saying, where are we seeing a lot of spread and where should it stop? And so that's why we're suggesting not that we're going to have police officers shining a light on you when you're driving down the street, asking for papers and asking where you're going. And in fact, none of that's happening. But what we are saying is that businesses need to follow along. And to the extent they don't, we have a regulated industries department, we have a fire inspector, we have other city resources that allow us to impose fines and ultimately shut down businesses.
Mayor, we just mentioned we're about just under 7 hours away from this taking place. How do you think most Kansas Cityans will deal with this?
Well, I think a few things really help us out on this. First of all, this is something that's been imposed and enacted in every county, really in the close metro area. So I think everybody understands how important it is. And from what I've heard, maybe it's 80%, 20%. 20% say, oh, you're crazy, this is the worst thing ever. But 80% say, you know what, this isn't how I wanted to spend my spring. But frankly, if this can make my neighbors, myself, my community, my family safer, then this is worthwhile. And so, from my side of things at City Hall, even today, I announced a $500,000 fund that I hope we can pass to support small businesses in Kansas City. I know other jurisdictions will look to do the same, and everybody knows why we're in this position. It's to help stop the spread of the coronavirus, and it's also to help stop the spread or flatten the curve. I mean, that's what we're trying to do here, and that's why we're going through all these important steps.
Yeah, we sure are. Mayor Lucas, thanks so much for joining us here at 5 o'clock. This is certainly not the last time we're going to be hearing from you. We might even hear from you tomorrow as well. Thanks so much. We really appreciate you getting the word out about everything. We'll talk to you later.
Hey.